America Meditating Radio Show, we collect wisdom, inspire each other, and empower hearts 24/7. Hi, I'm Sister Jenna. Join me and guest on Blog Talk Radio as we amplify stories that compel us to be more for ourselves and everyone else around us.
Hi, I'm Devon Franklin, co-author of the book The Wait, author of the book Produced by Faith, and producer of the film Miracles from Heaven. Just want to give a shout out to Sister Jenna and American Meditating Radio. I've been on the station before, I've been on the program. It's awesome, and meditation is such a powerful way to tap into all that God has for us and to find peace, love, and joy, and health in our life. We have an exclusive screening of my new film, Miracles from Heaven, starring Jennifer Garner and Queen Latifah, and this is a film that is based on a true story. We've been screening it all around the country, and people have been blown away by the power of this inspirational journey of a family coping with the illness of the middle daughter, and a miracle shows up when they need it the most. This movie will be in theaters March 16th all around the country. Come and see it with your whole family. I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
Are you in need of a tech service company that's going to deliver the best solutions for your business? Then At-Tronica is your solutions headquarters. Here we specialize in your individual needs to make sure your business shines. For more information, please call 301-417-0070 or visit us at our website at attronica.net. At-Tronica, where we deliver for you.
The Meditation Museum in Silver Spring, Maryland offers a variety of courses and activities to make your life go a whole lot smoother. Located at 9525 Georgia Avenue, you will be able to experience the beautiful silence that's in the space. There are courses in Raj Yoga meditation, positive thinking, stress-free living, and personal development classes. For more information, call us at 301-588-0144 or visit us online at meditationmuseum.org. everyone, and welcome to America Meditating radio show. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. That was the beautiful Snatam Kaur from her Light of Nam CD, YNT. I've had an interesting morning. Not to say that many of them aren't, but for those of you who have been following our journey, usually I get up at 3:30 in the morning, which is just customary. That's the only time I can seem to actually listen to my conscience and what's sitting at the base of my subconscious. And a friend of ours, or more I should say it's a contact, and there are others around her that are very close to her. But about 6 or 8 months ago, I started to really feel her pull. And unfortunately, she's transitioning through the portal of cancer. And this is a life coach and someone who has done a tremendous amount of work for many influential voices in the world. And it's been a hard time for her. It's been a lot of pain and a lot of challenges, to the point that, of course, she doesn't even feel she looks beautiful anymore, so she doesn't want her friends to come by and see her. And when I was told that story yesterday, it reminded me of Ram Dass in an interview that Ram Dass had given, who is an incredible voice and leader, has been teaching us about consciousness and enlightenment for decades. And Ram Dass had a karmic scene of a stroke a few years ago. And he shared publicly that he couldn't believe that everything that he had known and studied and taught was not present when he was going through the stroke. All he knew is, I'm dying. And it brought him to a completely different turnaround of his spiritual journey. And I thought, how powerful. Like, we can all say these things, but still inside of us, it's what we really need to do. The work really needs to be done from a very deep-rooted subconscious level. So this morning I got a call, like 6 o'clock. About 5 or 6 friends are just driving up from New Jersey to spend some time with me. Please do understand, I've got meetings upon meetings and things that I just back to back. That's just my day. Yesterday I was able to go and play golf for 2 hours, and I took that because that's my time, that I just wish to incorporate a new story in my part. Anyway, so they're coming, and I do my usual morning routine at the Meditation Museum class every morning at 6:15 to 7:30. Met a few people, answered a few calls. Then preparing, breakfast and lunch and dinner for guests, you know what that's like, and changing around my schedule for the day. And the van had a flat tire. Santosh told me, who was driving the van, okay, so we'll fix that, all right. He doesn't have any money. Okay, we'll take care of that. And then Sister Gita, who, of course, is here with me in the house, I just heard her scream, and she went into the room, and she's been grappling with this incredibly excruciating pain, and I could see for sure it was physical pain. So then I had to call 911 and decide what to do. Change my program that I cannot go to meet my friends. I'm sorry you've driven all the way. It's not going to be possible. Friends, doing all of this, I'm watching what I'm going through inside of my head, is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm observing, Jen, where are you? Are you having good wishes for Sister Gita? Are you having good wishes for Santosh, who drove the van over a bottle? Are you having good wishes for the fact that you had to change everything? Are you having good wishes that your friends are going to be rerouted for the day? Are you having good wishes that Antonia, the producer, the mechanic, put the wrong fluid in her car yesterday, and she drives an incredible, beautiful Porsche, and now she's stuck? And I'm saying, what is that energy? But every bit of that has to do with me in some sense. Because this morning in my spiritual class, I says, Jen, I don't want to mislead anyone, and I don't want to leave or transition my life not feeling that I didn't live this life genuine and clean and pure. And I just leave that with you, my friends, to just percolate on and to consider, what is all of this spirituality about? And I really feel it's about touching base with something very true and right about you and who you are. And as I bid Sister Gita goodbye, the invitation was, aren't you going with her? And I'm like, I will see her later. It's fine. I will see her later. And so, we're constantly bombarded by various scenes in life that are going to keep triggering in us. Are you using your powers, or are you under the influence of some vice, some limitation of consciousness? And I want to have this conversation with my sweet sister Snatam, because I think that she could definitely hold that. I know she can understand where I'm coming from as well. Snatam Kaur is an American singer, peace activist, author, raised in the Sikh and Kundalini Yoga tradition. She has an amazing ability to transform traditional Sikh chants of India into a contemporary sound that appeals to the modern era and awakens an ancient yearning in the soul. Her music can be heard around the world in venues from yoga studios to schools, Hollywood films, and in the homes of her fans worldwide. Like countless others around the planet, Oprah Winfrey says she plays Snatam's music every day before meditating. But guess what? She's got a new book, everyone. It's called Original Light, The Morning Practice of Kundalini Yoga. Today we're honored to welcome our dear friend and sister, Snatam Kaur, to the air. Hi, Snatam.
Hi, Sister Jenna. Thanks for having
me. Hi. Oh, thank you for joining us. I think you might have heard my morning this morning.
Yes, wow.
I'm going to need to reread Original Light again and get some more tips like what I got before when I first read it.
Well, I really feel like you have a really beautiful practice, and the Aquarian Sadhana, which I teach about in Original Light, is the morning practice of Kundalini Yoga. But there are many sacred, traditions and practices in the world, and I feel like it's wonderful for us to share with each other our practices. And, I think that internal process that we go through after the practice during the day is really, indicative of how deeply the practice is working on us. And it's wonderful to hear just how you were able to incorporate some of those deeper thoughts of awareness into the events of what was happening for you.
Thanks, Snatam. What would you do? Even as I was bidding Sister Geeta off in the ambulance, I was feeling a little emotional. But I had to grab myself and say, but that's not my story anymore. That's just not my story. And at the same token of saying it's not my story, I had to allow my empathy and love and good wishes and balance to play itself out at the same time. So let's say that Original Light, the morning practice of Kundalini Yoga, we've read it, we've absorbed it, and maybe we have our own practice. What would you do in that situation based on your practice and the study that you have presented to us in your new book?
Well, yeah, what I present in my book is basically a 2.5-hour practice, but I also present ways that somebody can start off, with perhaps, say, just a half-hour practice. And it includes yoga, meditation, chanting. We have 2 accompanying CDs that go along with it. And it's an instructional book in that sense, but also I share a lot of my own personal stories, and so it kind of pretty personal there, too, because I think the most important thing in daily practice is to show up with your entire self, not because you feel like you should, or not because somebody else told you, but actually because there is a genuine sense of love of being in that place and space. And I feel like I've really found that sense of love with my practice, and so that's what I really try to share. And one of the things that I talk about in my new book, Original Light, is that in our practice we really tap into this unspoken, unseen, even unheard place within us, this inner wisdom, this inner guidance, this divine light, this divine essence, or original light as I call it. And that even if you're not mentally, or intellectually understanding the effect of that kind of tapping in, or that kind of inner bathing process, that it is really affecting you on levels that can't be described, that the cellular structures are being affected by the chanting, by the sound current of the chanting, that we're being affected spiritually in the sense that our karmas, or results of our past actions that maybe weren't done in consciousness, are being cleared and cleaned. And so there's this level of working in the Sikh tradition, which I was raised in the Kundalini Yoga tradition as well. We call it japa, so ajapa jape. So you meditate, you go into that deep space of meditation, so that when you're not meditating, you're still meditating. You're still vibrating and feeling that essence. So I feel like that's a real powerful part of daily spiritual practice, is that we carry that vibration, carry that energy into our day, and then it helps us to remain in consciousness when we use our words, when we speak, when we make choices, so that our lives can really unfold in such a way that we are benefiting our highest self and then the highest self of everyone in our lives and on the planet, ultimately.
Let me jump in here. Thank you for sharing that as well. You know, it sounds easy. I know that it's not easy. I know the process of going deeper into what lies at the base of your spirit is never an easy viewing because, as you mentioned earlier, there are karmas sitting there from our past. But I've met you a few times, and when I look at you, I swear, Snatam, it's like you're perfect. And even though I know you're not, and I know that you've got your whatever you've got to grapple with, but when I look at your face, our faces, it just reveals the blueprint of the soul. And when I think many of us can say this for sure, and even in your music, is it that when you sing or when you speak, are you consciously coming from a deeper place, or are you just being you, and the you that you've become is because you've been spending so much time with the original light?
Yeah, I think that it's a real process for me, each and every concert, each time I make a CD, to tap more closely into that essence of the original light that I write about in my book. It is a real conscientious effort. And granted, I haven't been perfect at it, and I have a good ways to go. But that is really the essence of what I'm tapping into with it all. And the reason that I wrote this book, Original Light, and that I'm teaching workshops about it, and we have an online course as well to help people to integrate these teachings into their lives. I'm spending so much time on it now because I have recognized that people, when they hear my music or come to the concerts, they may be identifying that light or that essence or that peace, with me personally, that, wow, she's so special, or she's this or that and the other. And, when is she coming back into town? And although that's really wonderful and flattering and everything, the real truth of it is that as someone, I've been immersed in this spiritual practice from the get-go, from the time that I was born. And I've been doing yoga and meditation, throughout my life, through all of these different stages of being a teenager and marriage and having a daughter and all of these things. That is really what is bringing forth the light and the peace in the music, and that it's totally and completely accessible to everyone. And so for me, I kind of feel like I'm just maybe breaking a myth, I guess, that this sense of spirituality, this sense of inner peace, this sense of empowerment is something that is accessible to all of us, householders, people that have busy lives with work and family and all of this, that there is that sense. And I really feel like the key is a regular daily spiritual practice.
You emphasize that a lot in the book. You emphasize a lot on the consistency and a regular daily practice of that, because I think a lot of folks who go into meditation, yoga, or spirituality, they either do it at a high stressful time, or they do it when they feel like they just have some time on their hands. And could you emphasize a little bit more on why the regular daily practice is needed? Because I know you emphasize on that. And for some of our listeners who might need to learn just a little bit more about Kundalini Yoga, could you just give us a little bit of an idea of that?
Sure, yeah. I'll talk about the regularity first, because I think that's applicable to any discipline. But the idea with having a regular daily spiritual practice is that we are really working with the mind and a sense of the being of the self, and really training the mind and the psyche that we are putting spirit first, we're putting soul first, so we're living our lives by this frequency and this priority. And so that message becomes much more powerful when it's done on a regular daily basis. Because as the sun rises and sets, there's a certain kind of rhythm that we ingrain into our beings. And when we join in with that rhythm with the daily spiritual practice, then the mind really gets convinced. It says, wow, yeah, spirit does come first. And that's, as my teacher Yogi Bhajan, who brought the teachings of Kundalini Yoga to the West, who said, the mind is so powerful and so important, really. He really honored that sense of the mind, that it can accomplish so much and do so much. But when it doesn't have this sense of security, that it is in service to the soul, then it goes kind of crazy because it's trying to create structure, but it can't possibly because the structure doesn't exist in the greater cosmic flow of love that we are all a part of. So by placing it in a place of support, then it's given a job, it's given a place, and then it can really support you so that all of the work that you're doing is unfolding in the intention of your soul. But
totally agree with that.
Yeah, that's the importance of daily practice. And so in the teachings of Kundalini Yoga and meditation, these are ancient teachings that have been around for actually thousands of years. And Yogi Bhajan brought them to the West, incorporating teachings from the Sikh tradition, which is a relatively young tradition, mantras and chants especially. And he shared these teachings of Kundalini Yoga really to help people to heal on a very deep level. There's a lot of incorporation of physical exercise, physical movement. You don't have to be, really highly trained yogi, though. You can kind of jump in at any level to most of the classes.
That's comforting.
Yeah. Yeah, he taught us about what he called the 10 bodies. So we have the physical body, but then there are 9 others that exist as well, including, I'll just name a few to give you an idea, but including the aura, including the pranic body, which is the energy body, including the radiant body, which is, our radiance. And so there are 10 bodies total that make up our existence, and that's why somebody who perhaps is even in a wheelchair can sit in a Kundalini Yoga class and receive the benefits of the teaching as Kundalini Yoga teachers are trained to work and hold the space of all of these 10 bodies, not just the physical body. But the physical body is an important part as well. So many of the Kriyas work with the physical body. And then there's a lot of chanting incorporated, music and chanting for transformation, which is wonderful for me as I love music so much. And then a lot of breath work, and there's silent meditation as well. But Kundalini Yoga, maybe to understand it as how it might be a little bit different than other disciplines, it works a lot with healing the psyche. There's a lot of effective Kundalini Yoga for relieving depression, for post-traumatic stress disorder. So it can go into these kind of very intense vibrations and emotions and totally bring healing. And there's a lot of work, a lot of work being done in these areas now. It works not just with physical, but as I said, with these other areas as well.
Very powerful indeed. And I think that as we're looking at the current state of our world, we are seeing a rise in the interest of yoga, meditation, and also just our own spiritual soul searching. The last time we were on the air together, you left me with a jewel that I share very regularly. And you said that one of the things that your guru taught you was that he said the difference between you and me is that I know my weaknesses and I accept them. I thought that was just a very profound statement. I don't know if you remember telling me that or when the guru did say that to you. And why I think it's so important is that I was on a interview with HuffPost Live, and Carol, the reporter, asked me, Sister Jenna, with all the spiritual conversations that I have, or I meet so many spiritual people, but she wanted me to tell her what was the sum total of all of the efforts that we're making. And I want to turn that over to you as well, because I know that you've been on your journey every day, and of course with your new book and practice that you emphasize as a daily practice in your book, Original Light. What is the sum total of all of our spiritual practice, or is this just the way we're supposed to be living anyway?
Well, having a little bit of time to reflect on it, I feel like the sum total practice for me came in the reading that I took from the Sikh scriptures, the Sri Guru Granth Sahib this morning. It said, "May I be pleasing to you, O my beloved divine, beloved God." That sum total is actually where I'm at now in my practice, where I do have a desire for righteous living and happiness and all of these things, but really just be able to sit in the presence of the divine, to sit with the beloved divine, to be in that vibration and be pleasing to that vibration, to me is kind of where it's going for me.
That's beautiful. I remembered just kind of sharing with her, you know what, my sum total is, Carol, just accumulation of more good. I have nothing to tell you. That's all I can say. And who doesn't want to feel like they've got a little bit more sweetness and kindness to offer? Snatam, I've loved talking with you as I always do. And you know I'm a big fan of your music and just of your heart. And what's next for you? I mean, do you have any concerts or events coming up?
Well, yeah, this book, Original Light, is really monumental. I feel like it's a life purpose unfolding. And so I'll be doing a number of workshops, Mega Retreat Center in Kirpalu and Satnam Fest. And people can find out about that online at my website, snatamkaur.com. And I'll also be doing an online course dedicated to helping people integrate the teachings of my new book to help people to start their own daily spiritual practice, which might be maybe perhaps more accessible to people. And that's happening in late October of this year. So those are big for me in the sense that I feel so grateful to be able to share about my daily spiritual practice and hopefully help people to begin their own daily spiritual practices or enhance their current ones.
Well, any good that we can keep contributing to the current climate in our world is a gift from God. And so we thank you for all the good that you're doing, and can't wait for you to come back to D.C. so we can crash your party and know that we're constantly, thanks, we're always covering your back and truly love the contribution that you're making to our world. So thank you so much. A final last-minute quote, and I guess until then, Wahaguru.
Thank you. Well, I guess I would have to say that pure light, that original light, is really, truly within each of us, and we can live from its vibration.
Beautiful. Snatam Kaur, thank you so much for joining us on America Meditating Radio.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
They say that you can feel somebody's vibrations just to the tone of their voice. In acting, it's a very well-known thing that you can throw your emotions through your voice so that the audience can know where you're coming from, where your intentions are. And I think it's clear that we could feel Snatam Kaur's purity of innocence and just goodness and will. And it's good that we have this time that we can share our own spiritual practices without being afraid or wondering, are you going to convert me? No one's trying to convert anyone. Everyone just wants to share what's working for them at this time. And it might not work for you tomorrow. It might not work for you 10 years from now. I know a lot of people who've been on various paths and they've gone the whole mile. They've gone 20, they've gone 30 years, and then they realize, I think I'm done. The same thing happens in certain relationships, marriage, when you're in a particular house or home, you drive a particular car, that's done. So it's like that. So I hope you've enjoyed our conversation with the beautiful Snatam Kaur. We do wish for you to keep in touch with her and get online with some of her online events, Snatam Kaur, and do get a copy of Original Light, the Morning Practice of Kundalini Yoga. Had the fortune of reading that through. Remember, no one can take away your happiness unless you give them permission. We are here to love each other the same, so let's do that. We'll end today's show with, of course, one of Sanatam's songs and one of my favorite, which is an old one from back in the days, Ekunkar. Take care, everyone, and all the very best. Bye.